The roaring garbage truck is still out there, so I'm going to plug my ear as I always do. Remember I said it's a never-ending symphony. There's one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. I started noticing that last November. It started to get really bad. When it came in September, the EMS was noticeable, but it got really bad around November. Around the time that I was hitting the white nationalists last year. I can't recap everything, and it doesn't need to be done unless it's for the general public who I feel are mutated, and I'm tired of pretending like we're all in preschool. Okay, I'm done. I am fucking done. So I've given up trying to read about manicotti. I've given up trying to read about Caniloni. And this is my what's the word? Antithesis. First I stuttered it, then I forgot it. This is what happens when you're around this kind of fucking noise all the time. Is that truck gone? It might be. In antithesis. It's happened so much. This is like a prime example. It's still out there and I don't want to fucking hear it in the distance. Let me just keep plugging. It just throws you off. These noises are horrendous here. I'm going to stay calm because I have cats. I don't want them to be upset. In antithesis, you're just trying to read, I've done this all my life, read about manicotti and Caniloni. And it's impossible here. That siren that went by was fucking loud. Both my cats are looking around. This is why I keep it calm and really steady and balanced and happy home for my animals, because this undoubtedly affects them. Things like cooking, like Mama always has done, really help them with the regular routine. It's familiar. It brings security and safety, because this environment is clearly not that. I've never been anywhere where all I ever hear is EMS. Oh, as I was saying, the EMS started getting really bad in November to December, and I've already documented it. I cannot repeat things every video. This is absurd. It got bad again just recently. And that's all I'm saying. I've made it clear when and all that in prior fucking statements, writing all the above. I'm not doing it every video. It's really bad again. And I think, in my opinion, it's the worst it's ever been, except right before the pandemic. Because I have documented it. Right before the pandemic, it was almost 24 hours a day. Oh, I witnessed that. Where there was EMS that never stopped. But it's almost as bad as that. It's like 90%, 80%. Because I have noticed through the night in this area, 360. You don't hear them screaming like streaming. You might hear one or whatever. I'm not saying the calls don't come in. But it's to the point where it's waking you up and you can't go back to sleep because it's still screaming and the streaming and all the fucking shit, dude. This is so uninhabitable. I have no words to describe it. Oh my God. So I'm trying to read about manicotti. I'm trying to read about Caniloni. It's never going to happen. And then, so that fucking shit finally screamed past. And I'm my eyes so loud. I'm like, plugging my ears, desperate, turning the sound machine on, doing the same actions I always try to do to protect myself from screaming loud, horrendous sirens that never stop out there. And you're a woman in here. You're alone. You're a woman that reads about manicotti and Caniloni. Just get the picture. And the shit that's going on around you, and you're by yourself with fucking really fucking evil fucking murder suspects in a rooming house in DC. And I can't take it anymore, right? I mean, the whole thing. But even without the murder suspects, I couldn't take this. The screaming EMS is out of control. And so I'm like, okay, once that finally leaves, and you try to calm down, because it's scary, dude. And I don't have to argue this and explain this so that I'm not quote unquote crazy. That is for meth addicts. Meth addicts who want to say that, because regular people can not. My animals, regular people do not need to live around screaming EMS 20 hours a day. I don't need to do this for fucking meth heads. This is preposterous. All right. So then I'm like, okay, let me try one more time to read about this cannelloni because I wanted to get the pasta dough going. Because what my train of thought was, and this is what I mean, your train of thought is always interrupted here because of calamity noises. And that's what I believe is a part of my recall inability right now, which will come back, is when your train of thought is interrupted so much over a prolonged period, it does something, and I'm not going to elaborate on it more right now. I've researched it briefly. But you can't. You have to. Your brain needs to be able to finish its train. Is how we are built as humans. Is horrendous what's happening here. So once again, my train of thought is totally shut down, man. All I'm hearing, all I'm thinking about is getting that siren out of my house. Again. And what I was thinking, beginning to birth this thought, train of thought to relax, just to do all these myriad of things for your humanness, was, oh, you know, I can't get any fucking ingredients here since the day I ever came to DC. This has nothing to do with the pandemic. Oh yeah, see, you can't get ingredients, and come on, we know. Yeah, it's true too. It's fucking horrendous. And I'm not the only one. Come on, people. I'm the only one crazy running around saying this shit. They tried that in America. They tried. Their gang of fucking American fascists tried that. They tried that forever to say that shit about me. All right, so I ignored them and kept being me, man. Now they've kind of backed off, right? I know that, dude. All right, so I was thinking, you know, you can't get any fucking ingredients here. Let me start making my own. That's perfect. I've done that before. I was getting excited. I could do that here. The train of thought was going, I could do that here because everything is packed. I could still finagle that here. I bet I could do it in Instapot. I started to really get creative and start to feel good. No, bam, shut down. Here comes screaming EMS. All thoughts on that, gone. Stop. Interrupted. All we're going to do is focus on this EMS. And I'm looking at my poor little baby cats and I'm saying, it's okay, babies. Mama's right here. Mama's right here. And that's how I talk to them as these screaming sirens go past my house 100 times a day. It helps my animals, and I will not stop coaxing and giving them comfort while there's calamity. I don't have a word for it going on outside. Okay? So when me and my cats do get out of here, we have our head on our shoulders and we're stable with no permanent fucking issues. Yeah. So those thoughts are all gone. And then this is what I'm talking in antithesis. Once the siren was gone, I thought, just try again. Because it's almost like I'm trying to adapt to this horrible environment. And this is kind of the example of trying to adapt to something that's just not even natural. But I'm like, let me try again. I'm going to read this manicotti one more time. I'm desperate to. I just want to, right? The article, you know? And then this fucking semi-truck is in the alley, a garbage truck. Now, the garbage trucks are a whole nother deal. I've put it on my account. So this is my antithesis. Once something goes, something comes. And it's impossible, people, to read about that manicotti. It is never going to happen to try to read about that cannelloni, okay? It's not going to happen. So then it's so loud. It grows. The garbage truck grows in decimal volume. It's getting louder and louder and louder. And I've heard it before. It's really horrendous. It does it all the time, these trucks do. And I'm like, fuck, here goes the salsa. So now here I am. My morning has become this, like it has every day. This is what we do. Now we're playing salsa. No one's reading about manicotti. No one's reading about cannelloni. No one's reading, watching TV, doing anything. All we're doing is putting on the sound machine. All we're doing is putting on the salsa. That's all I do every day, besides locations. Okay, people? There's nothing more you can get done here. When I'm on the phone, I'm like this, screaming into the phone. There's helicopters almost every time I'm on the phone, flying over my house. There's nothing more you can get done here, people, okay? This is my hand to God testimony. I know people believe me now. I don't need a jury anyways. I don't know how. I am living here without completely emotionally breaking down. I just want to read about that manicotti so fucking bad. and it'll never happen. So this is what I'm saying, and this is for the feel goodies counselors types. It's not a feel good, but it's just the truth, and I'm aware of it. By the time it's all gone, which is now, you can see I'm able to do what I'm doing. You're witnessing this, no roaring or EMS. You give up. You're like, you know what? I don't want to read about this anymore. I'm so emotionally fucking fucked up and impacted by this, and just despair is what you feel, is how I feel. I don't fucking want to read about it now. And I just put it in my email, and I hope for a day when I get out of here, and I will read about this stuff again. Because I swear to God, if I try to read about that Caniloni one more time, and something else will come down the road, because it will. Because that's all that happens here.